Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are starting another reading vlog. And so this one, as you can guess from the title, is reading books written by Rebecca's part 2. So Rebecca is a common name. It is my name. And I did this previously, obviously because of part 2, and in that I read a Becky Chambers book, I read The Dragon Republic, I read Black Sun, and did I read another one? I'm not sure. I might have read another one. I have 3 in mind. So book number 1 that I want to read is going to be Love Like Farms by B.K. Barson. If you didn't know, B.K. Barson. The B is for Bex, and not only is it for Bex, spelled the same way as I have it spelled in my username. So when I discovered this, because I did, in fairness, I had seen the covers and I was like, those are pretty covers. Maybe I should read those, because I have gotten a little more into romance over the past 2 years, let's say. And I don't know where, I think it was also on Twitter, I saw that her name is Bex. And I was like, and now I must read them. And I was like, I will read them before reading Rebecca, because I have wanted to do a part 2 for ages, because there's so many Rebeccas out there. So I'm going to read Love Like Farms. This is the first book in the companion novel series. I think the 4th one either is about to come out or just came out. So I believe that it's friends to lovers. It's very soft and sweet, and that sounds like my kind of thing, because enemies to lovers and all that, ugh, I don't care about that. Friends to lovers, yes. So yes, so I'm excited for it. We'll see if I actually enjoy it. I'm almost always to give romance books 3 stars, so I could very easily be left down. I always get so excited when I hear synopsis of romance books, and then I'm always like, oh no, I don't like this. But we're gonna be optimistic that this will be one of the ones that works for me. So then book number 2 is going to be The Hulkling by Rebecca Zahavi. This is a sequel. I have already read book 1. Book 1 is The Collar Bound. The Collar Bound, it follows Tatters, who is a slave with a collar, and then I cannot remember the female main character's name, but she arrives at this school and she has this mark on her face. People are very cruel because of it, because they think that she is like a different species or whatever. Her and Tatters basically kind of start to train with each other in the like local tavern. Book 1 is purely vibes and world and characters. Like, there is no plot. And I've actually heard that book 2 is pretty much the same, but I really like the world and the characters, so it could very much work for me. So yes, so I will read that. I actually need to buy it because I want the paperback, and the paperback just got released, so I want it. So yes, and then book number 3, I'm only going to read 3 books because it is Ramadan and I want to read a lot of things. I actually haven't decided on a book just yet, but I'm going to read something by Rebecca Ross. Obviously, I know probably most people will be like Divine Rivals, but I'm not sure I want to read that. So I have put down on my library some of Forever Enchanted, Divine Rivals, and Queen's Rising, I think. So those are all the first books that she has, and I guess I'm gonna see which one comes through first, and whichever one comes through first will be the one that I read. Let's get into this. Hello, I have 2 different blankets on me right now. I'm cold, but I am reading Love Like Farms by B.K. Barson, and I don't love it, but I like it. I will say it did actually make me like well up just a little, so that's something, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the characters. I'm not sure fake dating is for me, if we're being honest. Like, I like the friends to lovers thing, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what tropes I do and don't like, but I don't know. I'm trying to think, is there a fake dating one that I've read that I've liked? No, the Kiss Quotient is technically fake dating. Yeah, kind of. She wants him to teach her about relationships more than, but like, that's like fake dating adjacent. So, and that's my favorite romance book, so. But I like the 2 characters. I don't think we've gotten enough of them together.
it's a lot focused on her right now. He has a job in the city, so he's kind of like coming and going. But I think like it's actual like, also I am halfway through, I didn't say that, but the actual like plot part of it, like the influencer coming and all of that is like I think about to start, and so I think he's going to be there more and all of that. So I think hopefully I'll start to like it more. But I'm a bit nervous about the third act conflict because like it's very obvious that he does not want this to be fake. And like in her head, she also is like, I've been in love with him for ages, but he doesn't feel that way about me. But like from the way that he is acting, it is extremely obvious that he feels the same. And so I'm hoping that it's not going to just be overly dramatic for no reason, but I don't think it will. We'll see. Okay, so couple of things. So I finished Love Like Farms by BK Barson yesterday, and I'm still debating what I want to give it, because I don't know if I want to give it a 3 or a 4. Because there was moments in here that I really loved, but overall it just didn't give me those like light fuzzy feelings that I usually give like 4 or 5-star romance. So then like I went to my ranking, because I've already started ranking the books this year. I'll leave last year's ranking every single book I read, and so I was like, this will help. Then I looked at my lowest 4-star and I'm like, well, I like it less than that. Then I looked at my 3-star and I'm like, well, I like it more than that. So that does not help me. That does not help. And like it feels like it's a 3.5. I don't give 0.5 stars though. I don't do that. And so I don't know. And so I might still wait and sit with it for a little bit longer, but like it feels very 3.5. It's just whether I round it down or up. I think one of my main gripes with it, number one, I wish there was a little more humor in here, a little more lighthearted, a little more banter. And also I feel like they read a bit younger than they are. They're supposed to be like almost 30, like 28, 29, 30-ish. And at some point she nearly read like a teenager. I liked the dynamic between the two of them. As I said, I wish there was like maybe a little more joking and banter between the two of them, but they were very sweet and kind and caring to each other, which I do love, and is very soft and sweet. And I think also because it kind of touches on grief in this, but it never fully talks about it. And like weirdly enough, that seems to be a thing that I actually don't kind of like in romance books, because like The Dead Romantics and The 7 Years Slip by Ashley Poston are 2 of my favorites. I gave them both 4 stars, and both of them have like kind of grief themes in them, while also having really strong romance, it says. And so I think that also just like, because like they kind of like just briefly touched on these things, but then went back to everything else like it was just normal, and never like fully had a conversation about that. And I think I would have liked that. Just kind of like, I guess they have already shared so much of each other with each other, and we have seen that, and I did appreciate that I understood their friendship. And I think I would have liked if we had just gotten a little more, like these are like the last little things that I guess they're holding on to themselves. And I think I would have liked if we had seen them finally kind of break down that wall. The conflict was pretty well handled, I would say. Like again, I had a bit of a problem because again, I felt like she read very young in the moment, where she was just like, how silly of him to think that he loves me. I was like, what? It's just the way that the conflict, in fairness, it is like 3 pages. So that's like good. It like really does not drag on. It isn't like the typical like fake dating of like it is and it isn't. We read more romance from her in the future, which I feel like is a good mark. So yeah, it was good. As I said, I don't know if it's a 3 or a 4. I'll probably give it maybe a couple of days. By the end of the vlog, I will tell you what my rating is, because I feel like it depends how quickly I end up forgetting it, because I feel like the few romances that I've given 4 stars to, which is very few, I do actually remember them. And as I said, I mean the 1 5-star I gave, I mean Hemi is the kiss cushion, and that had me giggling, smiling like an idiot the whole way through. I like the ones that I've given 4 stars, which is like Radiance by Great Driven, Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman, The Dead Romantics, 7 Years Left, all of those. Again, it's a hard category to get into. All of those, like, I very clearly remember what I love about them and like just like specific moments. And so we'll see in a couple of days if I still like have really strong memories of certain moments. I had a driving lesson today, which I hate driving. I hate it. I hate it. But I did go book shopping afterwards because I deserved it. And so one of the books, so I went into 3 different bookstores. I bought something in the first and the third one. So in the first bookstore, because I have not actually been into a shop since before Christmas, so I have a load of vouchers from Christmas time because I just spent all my time at home basically. But anyway, the first book that I bought was A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, and this, as you can see, was €9.99, €10. That's real good. Like, this is brand new. It came out like, I feel like maybe the end of last month or something. So like, this just came out. It is a paperback, brand new release, but usually I would say paperbacks are €12-13, depending on, you know, who it is, how long it is it adult fantasy, is it YA, all of that. €10, that's pretty unheard of, even for, I feel like, a YA fantasy, which I would say this was actually in the adult section. Maybe it is considered adult here, but I'm not sure. And then the next book, actually what I was hoping that I would find, but I didn't find it in bookstore 1 or 2, but I did find it in 3, and that is Auckland by Rebecca Zahavi. I've been waiting for the paperback to come out. The paperback is out, and now I will be reading this like today. So yeah, and also I would say that is a white cover. So yeah, so I'm 50% of the way through The Auckland by Rebecca Zahavi, and I'm enjoying it. Now here's the thing, is if you read the first book and was like, I like it, but I can't wait for book 2 because that's going to have more plot, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But if you read book 1 and was like, found yourself really absorbed by the writing style, which I must admit, her writing style, I really love it. It really works for me. I fly through it, but it's polished and like, it's not extremely repetitive. It's very fluid. I very much enjoy it. If you like the writing, if you liked the world, if you liked the characters, and you want more of that stuff, then you should definitely continue the series, because I'm having a great time with all of that stuff. I'm loving the expansion on all of that stuff, getting to know the characters even more, all of that stuff. But if you was like, I like the first book, but I can't wait for more plot, then that's not really happening in here. Like, yeah, there's a bit, but honestly, it's really hard to explain, because like, all of this stuff that happened in the last book, like setting up this war, and like a whole different thing is happening. Like, we're not talking about that stuff anymore. So like, it's definitely like, I'm still enjoying it because I like the characters and the world and the writing. Like, I'm serious, I'm flying through this. Like, I read, I think, about half of it in 2 hours. Like, I fly through it. I have such a good time. I just really vibe with this world, but the plot is lacking. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to it though. Hi, so I think I may have accidentally deleted the clip where I talked about the Hawkling. I was in like finishing it because I'm editing this and it's nowhere to be found. I've been filming multiple vlogs at the same time, so I'm pretty sure I just accidentally deleted it when I hit like finished editing another one. Whoops. So I can't. So in fairness, it's been like over a week since I read that. Probably longer. Yeah, it's been about 10 days, I think. So so I have forgotten some of the details, but I think I said it pretty well in the first clip that I personally, I gave it 4 stars. I really like this, and like, I hadn't like, it's just one of those things that like, it works for me, but I can definitely see that it is absolutely not going to work for everyone because of just the nature of the story, and like, because I mean, based on where book 1 ends, you do expect the plot to really pick up, that there's like this war coming, and we're gonna have to do that. And like, it's kind of like, it's strange because it's almost like our two main characters, like they're the main characters, but they're also kind of not. And so like other important people, they are actually working on like the preparations for this oncoming war, but like our two main characters aren't like important enough for them. And so they're like, they're like off doing other things that like do relate to it, but it's just like, it's interesting in that way. But like, if you want it to be like, you know, plot heavy, absolutely not. But as I said, if you read book one and you were like, oh my god, I really like these characters, I really like this world, then I would definitely continue. But if you're looking for more plot, just manage your expectations. But for me, I personally really enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars, like a pretty high 4 stars. I just, something about her writing style, like, I read it in a day. I just did not stop. I did not put it down. I was just like so absorbed in it. I find her writing just, it's like a really easy writing style for me to get into, but like, it's not like plain or boring or simple. Like, everything is really well explained. I think she creates a really vivid description of some of these places, because like, I mean, there's some scenes in here that are like really cool about like basically like the edge and all of this and describing that. And so like, it's not like a really like simplistic boring, like it's not particularly like flowery or beautiful or anything like that, but like it's just like really easy to get into. It does a good job with descriptions and getting you from place to place. And as I said, I really like the characters. I liked some of those reveals that we had in here, really interesting, learning a lot more about the magic and why certain characters are the way they are. And this book also kind of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, like a little bit of one. I'm really excited for the next book to come out, but I will probably wait for it to come out in paperback again. So yeah. Hello. So I am reading The Queen's Rising by Rebecca Ross. This was actually the first book that I saw by her, because I remember they had them in my bookstore in the YA section. I remember seeing it and seeing the name Rebecca Ross. I was like, Rebecca, and it made me almost pick it up, but for some reason it never really called to me, which I'm not really enjoying it. So good call past Rebecca, I guess. But obviously, and then, so I think that was her first series. I'm not 100% sure. I will have to fact check this. And then I think it was the River Enchanted ones, which is probably the one that interested me the most, but the library did not come through in time. So, and I feel like that one like a little more popular, mostly because it was a Luma Crate book, but even then, I don't think I've heard that many people talk about it. And obviously, Divine Rivals, everyone has spoken about that. So yeah, so the reason I'm reading this one is basically just because all of them are available. I think most of her books are available as audiobooks on SCRIBD. I don't think this series is, but I think A River Enchanted and I think Divine Rivals and the sequels for those are on SCRIBD, but I'm in SCRIBD jail until the 19th, so that was not going to happen, because obviously I want to film this video, I want to read it, I want to get it up to my library, and they actually didn't have Divine Rivals. They have the sequel, but they don't have the first book, which is interesting choice there. But then they had A River Enchanted and they had this one, so I reserved both of them, and both of them were like late March, but usually like people returning books and all of that, a lot of the time you'll get them beforehand. And I did get this one, and I got this one first, so I was like, okay, it looks like the world is telling me that this is the one I should read. I'm over halfway through this book and I can't really tell you what it's about. I mean, I can, but also like it's not bad, it's just like kind of boring. I don't read a lot of YA anymore, so like I shouldn't be that surprised, but we follow, oh my god, what the hell is our main character's name? That's not a good sign. We follow our main character, and basically when she is young, her grandfather brings her to basically this academy, and he basically like tries to get her admitted, and she does, and he's like, she could have a passion for any of the things. And so there's 5 different passions, which I'm not sure is like there magic involved in these passions, or is it like just straight up like being really good at something. I think it's just straight up being really good at something, but it's like art, music, wit, something and something. There's 5 of them anyway. And so obviously she gets trained in them, and then once you become 17, I think, you get your cloak from a patron. They will take you on, and you will like you'll officially like have a passion. And she has spent her whole life training for this day to come, and then the day comes and she doesn't actually get it, which I would like to say, this isn't the synopsis, but like it doesn't happen for like a good bit into the book. Like I feel like it's like about a third before that happens, but whatever. And then she discovers some information about her father, who she has never met, didn't even know his name, and she kind of sets herself on a course to try and, unclear, but bring a queen back to this country, because a queen is supposed to be really ruling. But yeah, I really don't care. Like, as I said, I don't think it's bad. It feels very of the time. I don't care about the characters, but I don't necessarily think like she's poorly written, or like, you know, because like this book is a good few years old. Like, she doesn't feel very like, not like the other girls, which was very popular at the time, so like she doesn't feel like that. Like, I wouldn't say like she's particularly unique, but you know, she's okay. The writing is okay. The plot is like, it all seems okay. I think the world building is a bit rough. As I said, like, I don't really understand. Like, there's been a couple of mentions of magic and stuff like that, but like none of this world building has been explained at all, really. Definitely not very well. And as I said, I'm just like bored. Like, I don't care.
Hello everyone. So it has been a little while. It hasn't been that long. It's been a couple of days, sorry. So I read and gave The Queen's Rising a 2-star by Rebecca Ross. This book just didn't really work for me. I don't even know why. Like, I just don't think I cared, is the bottom line. I will say, probably if I read it last year, I would have given it a 3 stars, but I'm being a lot more brutal with my ratings this year, because here's the thing, is if a book is a completely meh the whole way through, and there's nothing about it that like redeems it for me, then like it's gonna get a 2-star, because like, okay, yeah, there's nothing that I absolutely hated about this book, but there was nothing about it that I liked. And so a 3-star for me is, I like this. I can't say I like this book. Like, yeah, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it. I was so completely bored by this. And so I suppose that means I disliked it if I was bored. I mean, I don't like being bored, so I guess I did dislike it. But like, I didn't dislike particular aspects of this book, is probably a better way of wording it. Like, it's not like I disliked the writing or I disliked the characters. I just felt so meh about the whole thing. I will say, it does actually end pretty well wrapped up. I'm like kind of intrigued about what the hell the sequel is about, considering how well wrapped up it was. Like, I know they kind of alluded to, well, there's like these trials and stuff that have to happen, but like, I would say you could probably read it as a standalone. I'm not going to continue the series, and so I am actually kind of happy that at least like I kind of got like the end of the story. And I just never connected to it. I didn't care about the character. I have already forgotten our main character's name. I don't know what their name is. I was so confused. There's like a romance in here, and like I was like, wait, I thought he was like your teacher, and then I was like, oh, he wasn't. And I'm so confused by that relationship. So I think that probably goes to show that the world and the characters weren't very well explained or introduced to us, and because it was like, yeah, it was very weird. I did not like it. And I do feel a bit bad, because I know that this is, I believe, their debut. And of course, like, everyone loves Divine Rivals. And I'm sure she has grown a lot as an author in these past however many years, because I think this was like 2018 or something. So I'm sure she has grown a lot. I'm sure her writing and her worlds and everything is so much stronger. But for me, this just didn't work. Overall, mixed opinions on this one. So we got a 3-star, a 4-star, and a 2-star. So it was okay. As I said, this isn't really a particularly serious one. Like, do I like books by Rebecca? I mean, it's just a name. Like, so, like, yeah, no, it depends on the book. Of course it does. It's just a silly, goofy, fun thing that I do, because there seems to be a lot of Rebeccas out there, and go us, you know? So, yes, so, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.